Hello everybody, today I can solve variable exponential equations by taking the log of both sides. So basically my steps for solving variable exponential equations, my first step is going to be to isolate the base. Whatever's being raised into the power needs to be by itself. Once I isolate the base, I take the log of both sides. The reason I do that is I bring the exponent in front, and then I divide to isolate the variable. So this might look a little funky at first, but it's really pretty straightforward. So let's take a look. Number one, I see an exponent in the equation. It's a variable. So I'm going to take the log of both sides. We talked about constant exponential equations. If it's a constant in the exponent, if it was like a 2, I would raise both sides to the reciprocal power. But for a variable exponent, I take the log of both sides. So the base is isolated. So I'm going to literally just write log in front of both sides. The reason I do that is to apply the power rule of logs, which brings the exponent to the front. Now I'm one step from the end. To get x by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by log 10. I get x equals log 182 divided by log 10. So now I go to my calculator. I type in alpha y equals enter. Log, the log button is on the left-hand side towards the bottom. 182 over log 10. I believe I said to round, I have no idea what I said, probably nearest 10th. I'm going to go with nearest 10th. If I said to round to nearest 100th, then oh well. I'm going to go with nearest 10th, and I'm going to go 2.2. I'm sorry, 2.3. Let me just see. I think I have the sheet in front of me over here somewhere. No, I don't. So 2.3. I'll go nearest 10. And that's it. Take the log of both sides. When I take the log of both sides, the exponent comes to the front based on the power rule, which we talked about. From there, you just divide away to solve for x. Number 2. My first step is to isolate the base. The base is isolated because my left-hand side is just something to a power. So I take the log of both sides. The reason I do that is to get my exponent to come in front. Now I'm one step from the n. I want to get n by itself, so I have to divide by the 2 and the log 15. And I can just type that into the calculator. Alpha y equals enter log 245 over 2 log 15. So the nearest tenth would be 1.0. All right. Which brings us to number 3. In number 3, again, my first step is to isolate the base. I haven't had to do that yet, but I do have to do that here because I don't have just a base to a power. My exponent's 2x. 5 is being raised to that power, so I want to only have 5 to the 2x on that side. Since there's a 3 in front, I need to isolate by dividing by 3. Now that I'm isolated, I take the log of both sides. So I'm going to write log in front of each of them. And the whole reason I do that is to bring the exponent in front. So it's going to become 2x log 5 equals log 20. From here, I'm one step from the end. I want x, so I'm dividing away the 2 and the log 5. I go to my calculator. I type in alpha y equals enter, log 20 over 2 log 5 to the nearest tenth. I got 0.9. Number 4, my first step is to isolate the base. I just want a number to a power on one side. I don't have that. I have the minus 5. So to isolate the base in this case, I'm going to have to add 5 to both sides. I get 4 to the x equals 17. Now that the base is isolated, to solve variable exponential equations, I take the log of both sides. I want you to try and finish this problem from here, so please pause. Finish the problem from here by taking the log of both sides, and then unpause. Okay, now that you completed this on your own, I'm writing log in front of both sides. The reason I do that is the exponent comes in front. From there, to get x by itself, I divide away the log 4. I go to my calculator. Alpha y equals enter, log 17 over log 4, 2.0. So, number 5, my first step is to isolate the base. Is my base isolated? No. What's being risen to that 2x power? Well, just 3 is. So I need to get the 3 to the 2x by itself. So I want you to do that on your own right now. As a hint, to get that by itself, when you're isolating something, add or subtract first, divide last. I'm going to give you about 45 seconds to isolate that 3 to the power of 2x. Add or subtract first. Divide last. I cannot multiply the 2 and the 3. It's a very common mistake. I'm isolating the 3. I can't multiply the 2 and the 3 because the 3 is connected to that exponent. Now that I'm isolated, log of both sides. I'll give you, at this point, please pause it. I want you to finish this from try and do this on your own from here. Again, what you're trying to take the log of both sides, and then when you're done, unpause. Now that you tried this on your own, I'm going to go over it. Log of both sides. So I'm literally just writing log in front of both sides. The reason I do that is my exponent comes down in front. Now, to get x by itself, I'm dividing away the 2 and the log 3. Alpha y equals enter log 5 over 2 log 3. And I get 0.7. That's pretty much it. All right, we're going to isolate the base by adding or subtracting first, dividing last. Again, make sure you cannot multiply these because the 3 is attached to that exponent. You're dividing the 2 away. Once you isolate the base, you're taking the log of both sides. And the reason we do that is the exponent comes in front of the log. And then from there, we just divide away whatever we don't want. We put into the calculator, and we get our answer. I don't really see the need to go over any more of them, so I'm not. Your classwork/homework is going to be to finish just variable exponential equations. It is a very important topic, so make sure that you're comfortable with it. And again, to solve variable exponential equations, we're going to isolate the base by adding or subtracting first, dividing last. Then we take the log of both sides, because when we do that, we bring the exponent in front, and then we divide away to isolate the variable that I'm trying to solve for. Have a great day.